Pull out any summer top you own right now. Find the fabric label. Read past the brand name. If you see acrylic, rayon, nylon, or the words linen blend, you have been wearing plastic against your skin in the hottest months of the year and wondering why you sweat through everything before noon. The fashion industry does not profit from fabric that lasts and breathes. It profits from fabric that fails fast and feels good on the rack. 6 fabrics are quietly ruining your summer wardrobe. 3 are building the most expensive-looking closet you have ever owned. The difference is on that label. Let us read it together. Number 6. Acrylic, the plastic imposter. It feels soft in the store. That is the whole trick. You run your hand across an acrylic, knit on the rack, and it feels almost like wool, almost like cashmere, almost like something worth the price tag. That softness is a finish applied during manufacturing. It is designed to survive exactly long enough for you to buy the piece and take it home. By the 3rd wash, it is gone. What is left underneath is plastic fiber behaving exactly the way plastic behaves in summer heat. It does not breathe. It traps warmth against your skin and holds it there. It generates static that makes the fabric cling to your body in ways no natural fiber ever would, and it pills fast. Within weeks of regular wear, the surface starts to gather those tiny fiber balls that no lint roller fully removes and no wash cycle reverses. Here is the sensory test you can do before you ever reach the register. Rub the fabric between 2 fingers for 10 seconds. Acrylic builds static charge. You will feel it. Natural fiber stays neutral. That 10-second test has saved more wardrobes than any shopping guide ever written. Acrylic targets women grabbing knitwear basics from fast fashion chains who trust the in-store texture as a quality signal. Budget-conscious shoppers, women building a capsule wardrobe on a tight timeline. Women who assume soft means good. The industry knows this. That finish exists specifically because it converts that assumption into a sale before the product ever proves itself. The worst part is the smell. Acrylic holds body odor in a way cotton and linen never do. 1 full day of summer wear, and the garment needs washing. 3 seasons of that cycle, and the fiber is visibly degraded, pilling across the surface, clinging in the heat, and smelling stale within an hour of putting it on. One shopper described buying what she thought was a premium knit cardigan for a summer evening event. By the end of the night, the static had the fabric wrapped around her waist like cling film. She said she spent more time smoothing it down than talking to anyone in the room. Acrylic hides behind softness. The next fabric hides behind a name that sounds natural, but is not. Number 5. Rayon and viscose. The natural lie. Walk into any fast fashion store this summer and you will find entire rails of flowy dresses, loose blouses, and wide-legged trousers, all labeled with the same reassuring word: natural. Derived from wood pulp, rayon and viscose are technically plant-based, and the industry leans hard on that detail because it sounds like breathability, like comfort, like a fabric that belongs in warm weather. It does not belong in warm weather. It barely survives a washing machine. The wood pulp that starts the process is real. What happens next is not natural in any meaningful sense. Harsh chemical processing strips the raw material down and rebuilds it into a fiber that has almost none of the structural integrity of the plant it came from. What you get is a fabric that drapes beautifully on a hanger, photographs well in a studio, and completely loses its shape the first time genuine heat and humidity get involved. Rayon shrinks, not a little. Significantly. A dress that fits perfectly on a Tuesday afternoon can come out of a single warm wash cycle, 2 sizes smaller, and a completely different shape. Viscose warps at the seams, pulls at the shoulders, and develops a strange stiffness after drying that no amount of ironing fully corrects. Hold the rayon piece up to direct sunlight before you buy it. The fabric goes almost transparent. What looked like a structured, opaque blouse on the rack becomes a problem the moment you step outside for a photo. If it says, dry clean, only on a summer dress, what does that tell you about how it handles the real world? This fabric speaks directly to women buying flowy summer dresses and lightweight blouses who are drawn to the drape and the breathability claim. Women who are actively trying to avoid synthetics and reach for something that sounds closer to nature. That instinct is exactly right. The execution behind rayon is exactly wrong. Subscribe right now if you are done buying summer pieces that fall apart before the season ends. The next fabric on this list followed you out of the gym and into your wardrobe without asking permission. Number 4. Polyester blends, the invisible downgrade. It is not on the front of the tag. It is never in the product title. You will not see it in the marketing copy or the Instagram caption or the mannequin styling. But turn any fast fashion summer piece inside out and find the full fabric composition label, and there it is. Polyester. Sometimes 60%, sometimes 80%. Sometimes the entire garment with a single thread of something else woven in, so the brand can legally call it a blend. Polyester itself is not always the enemy. Heavy, tightly woven polyester in the right application can be a durable, functional fabric. The problem is the thin, cheap, low-weight version that fills fast fashion summer rails from April through August every single year. This is the version with no structure, no breathability, and no future beyond a single season of wear. The technical measure nobody tells you about is GSM, grams per square meter. It is the number that tells you how much actual fabric is in a garment. Premium summer pieces sit above 130 GSM. Fast fashion polyester blends often fall below 80. That difference is what separates a blouse that holds its shape through a full workday from one that looks slept in by 11 in the morning. GSM is never printed on the label. The industry made sure of that. In summer heat, thin polyester traps moisture against the skin and cannot release it. You do not just feel warm, you feel the fabric holding the warmth in place, and the odor situation is permanent. Synthetic fibers bond with body odor at a molecular level that washing never fully reverses. After enough wears, the garment smells stale within an hour of putting it on, regardless of how recently it was cleaned. Then there is the photograph problem. Low-weight polyester has a surface sheen that reads immediately cheap in natural light. It does not matter how well the piece is cut or how much it cost. The fabric catches light in a way that signals fast fashion in every outdoor photo. This fabric targets women building summer work wardrobes on a budget, reaching for structured blouses and tailored trousers from high-street brands that look polished on the hanger and fall apart in the office. One woman described wearing a polyester blend blazer to a summer meeting and spending the entire presentation aware of the sweat pooling at her back. She said the garment looked expensive and felt like a plastic bag. Hit subscribe right now, because this list is about to get harder to hear. The next fabric crossed over from the gym into your everyday wardrobe and brought all of its problems with it. NU Beer 3-1 Gym Refugee. Nylon was engineered for function. Parachutes, stockings, performance athletic wear, built for high-output movement in controlled conditions. It is a remarkable fabric inside those specific applications. It is lightweight, strong, and resistant to abrasion in ways natural fibers cannot match. Then the athleisure trend happened, and nylon left the gym entirely. Somewhere between the rise of elevated loungewear and the blurring of athletic and everyday dressing, nylon started appearing in wide-leg trousers, shell tops, shirt dresses, and tailored summer separates. Brands positioned it as structured, lightweight, and modern. What they did not mention is that nylon was never designed to handle the specific conditions of a regular summer day outside an air-conditioned studio. Nylon does not breathe. Not slightly. Not in the right cut. Not with the right lining. It does not breathe at all. The fiber is completely non-porous, which is exactly what you want in a parachute, and exactly what you do not want in a summer outfit. The moment outside temperature rises and humidity arrives, nylon traps everything against your skin. Heat, moisture, all of it sealed in by a fabric that was designed to keep things out, not let them through. The cling situation is worse. As the day progresses and moisture builds underneath, nylon pulls toward the body. What started as a structured wide-leg trouser by 9 in the morning becomes something that reveals every line underneath by 2 in the afternoon. There is no drape left. The fabric has found your body and decided to stay there. If the fabric was designed for parachutes and stockings, what exactly is it doing in your summer wardrobe? Nylon also develops odor fast in warm weather, faster than polyester and significantly faster than any natural fiber. The non-porous surface that traps heat also traps everything that heat produces. A single full day of summer wear in nylon is enough to retire the piece until the next wash cycle. This fabric targets women drawn to the athleisure crossover aesthetic. Women who want something that looks structured and intentional but feels relaxed. Women buying into the idea that athletic fabric technology translates into everyday comfort. In winter, in a climate-controlled environment, that idea holds up. In a Lagos afternoon or a New York August, it collapses completely. One buyer described her nylon wide-leg trousers as the most beautiful garment she owned and the most unwearable. She said she kept them for 2 summers trying to find the right occasion. She never did. Donald crossed from function into fashion and lost its entire purpose along the way. The next fabric made a different kind of mistake. It started as something genuinely good and got quietly ruined in the blending. Modal blended with synthetics. The smart shopper trap. This one is different from every other fabric on this list. Every other entry targets women who did not research before buying. Modal blended with synthetics targets the women who did. The ones who Googled best summer fabrics, the ones who read the articles, learned the terminology, and specifically went looking for modal because someone told them it was better. That research was correct. The product they ended up with was not. Pure modal is genuinely good. It is a semi-synthetic fiber, derived from beech tree pulp, processed more gently than rayon, and the result is a fabric that is noticeably softer than cotton, genuinely more breathable than polyester, and durable enough to hold its shape across repeated washing. If you could find pure modal consistently at an accessible price point, it would deserve to be on the safe pick side of this list. You almost never find it pure. Walk into any mid-range retailer and pull a modal labeled piece off the rack. Read the full composition label on the inside, not the brand tag on the collar, the full fabric breakdown near the hem. In almost every case, you will find spandex sitting alongside the modal. Sometimes 8%, sometimes 15%. Sometimes higher, and behind that spandex, there's often a percentage of polyester quietly doing the same work it does on every other fast fashion tag, cutting the production cost and destroying the breathability in the same move. The modal does the marketing, the synthetic blend does the damage. Here is the test. If the label reads modal in spandex, with spandex sitting above 10% of the total composition, the breathability you researched and specifically went looking for is already gone. The spandex seals the weave, just enough to trap heat in warm weather while still allowing the fabric to drape the way modal should. It looks right. It feels right. In a cool store. It fails the moment real summer heat finds it. One woman described spending an hour reading about fabric quality before buying a modal blend camisole she was genuinely proud of. She wore it on a warm evening out and said it felt indistinguishable from the polyester pieces she had been actively trying to avoid. She said the research made the disappointment worse, not better. This fabric targets informed shoppers who are already trying to do the right thing. That is what makes it the most frustrating entry on this list. Click subscribe right now, because the final fabric on this list is the one that will genuinely surprise you. It sounds like a safe pick. It is on the label of some of the most trusted summer pieces in the market. And it is not what it claims to be. Number 1. Linen blends the biggest betrayal. This is the one that changes everything. Every other fabric on this list was easy to position as the villain. Acrylic is plastic. Rayon shrinks. Polyester traps heat. Nylon belongs in a gym. Modal gets corrupted in the blend. None of those required a second reading to understand. Linen blend requires one. Because linen itself is not the problem. Linen is on the safe picks list. Pure linen is one of the 3 fabrics that will make your summer wardrobe look more expensive than anything fast fashion ever sold you. But linen blend is a completely different product being sold under the same trusted name, and the fashion industry is counting on you never noticing the difference between those 2 words. Here is the rule the industry does not print anywhere. A garment labeled linen blend can legally contain as little as 15% actual linen. The rest is polyester, sometimes cotton. But most of the time, on the fast fashion version of the linen blend summer dress, the rest is polyester. You are buying the crinkle texture, the earthy color palette, and the word linen on a tag, without a single breathability benefit that makes real linen worth wearing in summer. Think about how that math works. You see the word linen. Your brain immediately connects it to expensive European summers, natural fiber, breathability, the kind of effortless dressing that photographs beautifully and feels cool against the skin all day. The industry put the word there specifically because your brain makes that connection. Then they filled the rest of the garment with the cheapest synthetic available. Go check every linen-labeled piece in your wardrobe right now. Find the full fabric composition near the hem. If it says linen blend anywhere on the front without a percentage, find that percentage on the inside label. Anything below 50% linen content in a summer garment means the heat, retention, and the breathability failure of whatever fills the remaining composition will dominate the wearing experience entirely. One stylist described pulling what looked like a beautiful wide-leg linen trouser off a high street rail, a piece that was being sold at a genuine linen price point, and finding the composition label read 20% linen, 80% polyester. She said the price did not change. The fabric content just quietly did. This is the most important label check on the entire list because it is the one hiding behind the best reputation in summer fashion. Go check those labels. Then come back, because the next section is where everything finally works in your favor. 6 fabrics. Same trick every single time. The name sounds right in the store. The texture feels right under your fingers in a cool, air-conditioned aisle. Then, summer arrives, the real kind, and the fabric shows you exactly what it is made of. Acrylic built static and held your odor. Rayon promised nature and delivered a garment that shrinks in the wash. Polyester blend hid its weight problem behind a label that never disclosed it. Nylon left the gym and forgot why it existed. Modal let a synthetic blend quietly destroy the breathability you researched and specifically went looking for. And linen blend put the most trusted word in summer fashion on a tag and filled the rest with plastic. 6 different stories. One consistent result: you overheat, you overpay, and you replace it before the season ends. 3 fabrics never played that game. They were solving heat problems long before the fashion industry got involved. Here is what actually works. Safe pick 3. Pure linen, the fabric that gets better with age. Pure linen. Not linen blend, not linen look. The full fiber content label reads 100% linen, and that single detail changes everything about what happens when you wear it in summer heat. Linen comes from the flax plant, and it has been solving warm weather problems for thousands of years. That is not a marketing angle. That is just the historical record. Ancient Egyptians wore it. Mediterranean cultures built entire summer wardrobes around it. They did not have air conditioning, they had linen, and it was enough. The reason it works is structural. Linen fiber is hollow. It pulls moisture away from the skin and releases it into the air faster than almost any other natural fabric. The more you wear it, the softer it becomes. The more you wash it, the better the drape gets. It is one of the only fabrics in existence that genuinely improves with use instead of degrading. The crinkle is not a flaw. That is the part the fashion industry spent years trying to convince you was a problem, so they could sell you a wrinkle-resistant synthetic alternative. The crinkle is what makes linen look expensive. It signals a fabric that is real, natural, and completely unbothered by the heat that melts every synthetic alternative around it. One stylist said she rebuilt her entire summer wardrobe around pure linen pieces bought off-season and on resale platforms, and said she has never once been asked where she shops without the answer, genuinely surprising the person asking. The best linen does not cost a fortune when you know where to look. End-of-season sales and secondhand platforms consistently carry pure linen pieces at a fraction of their original price, because most shoppers cannot tell the difference between a new piece and a well-cared-for one. Now you can. Saf, pick 2. Silk, the temperature regulator. Silk does something no synthetic fabric can replicate, and most people never fully understand until they try it in real heat. It regulates body temperature in both directions simultaneously. When the air is warm, silk pulls heat away from the skin. When the air cools, silk traps just enough warmth to keep you comfortable. It is the only fabric that works both ways without a single engineered intervention. That is not a marketing claim. That is the protein structure of the fiber itself, doing exactly what nature built it to do. The drape is the second reason silk belongs at the top of this list. Silk moves with the body in a way no polyester or rayon blend ever approaches. It catches light naturally, with a soft luminosity that photographs rich in every setting. That is why it has appeared in high fashion for centuries. Not because it is expensive, because it looks expensive without trying. Is it delicate? Yes. Does it require more care than a machine-washable synthetic? Yes. But a well-cared-for silk piece lasts years. The fast fashion silk alternative, it replaced, needs replacing every season. Here is the practical opportunity most shoppers miss entirely. Resale and thrift platforms consistently mislabel silk pieces because the algorithm does not recognize heritage brands or older garment labels the way it recognizes modern fast fashion names. Pure silk blouses, slip dresses, and lightweight scarves appear regularly at prices that make no sense for the quality sitting behind them. Buyers who filter by material instead of brand find these first. SAFP Kwon. High thread count cotton, the quiet winner. This is the one that surprises people every time. The most affordable fabric on the Safe Picks list also photographs the most expensive, holds up the longest, and breathes better in genuine summer heat than almost anything else available at any price point. High thread count cotton, the tightly woven kind, with a smooth surface and real weight to it, is what quality summer, shirting, and structured dresses have been made from for generations. It does not pill. It does not trap odor the way synthetics do. It washes indefinitely without degrading. And unlike linen, it does not crinkle, which means it works just as well in a professional setting as it does on a weekend. The reason it gets overlooked is price positioning. Cotton does not sound exciting. It does not have a European heritage story, or a temperature regulation claim, or a luxury association. It sounds ordinary. The fashion industry would rather sell you something that sounds more interesting at a higher margin. That is their problem, not yours. One woman described clearing out every synthetic piece from her summer wardrobe and replacing them entirely with high thread count cotton basics sourced from secondhand and outlet channels. She said she spent less than she had on a single fast fashion haul the previous year and has not replaced a single piece since. 6 fabrics sold you summer and delivered a sweaty, pilling, shrinking disappointment before August arrived. Acrylic trapped your heat and your odor. Rayon shrank and warped. Polyester hid its weight problem on a label nobody read. Nylon brought gym problems into your everyday life. Modal blend corrupted the one fabric you researched correctly, and linen blend put the most trusted name in summer fashion on a tag filled mostly with plastic. 3 fabrics have been solving heat problems since long before the fashion industry existed. Pure linen gets better every time you wash it. Silk regulates your temperature and photographs rich in every light. High thread count cotton breathes, lasts, and reads expensive in any cut. Stop reading the front of the tag. Flip it over, find the full fiber content. That is where the truth is. Share this with the woman in your life who replaces her summer wardrobe every single year without understanding why nothing ever lasts. The answer is on the label she never checked. If the fashion industry has been selling you plastic, disguised as summer clothing, wait until you see what the beauty industry has been putting in your SPF. Click the next video right now. I will see you there.